Now guys, I have a short one for you. I know that the last one about David Parker Ray was hard to listen to, so today I still have a horrible one, and one you might have heard of. The short but horrible case of Mary Bell. Mary Flora Bell. Mary Flora Bell is born on the 26th of May 1957 in Newcastle, England. Betty Bell was a teen prostitute when she got pregnant. It is not sure who the father is, but it's suspected it was Billy Bell. Mary grew up in a poor neighborhood and it was a hard upbringing. It is said that Betty took out a lot of anger and aggression on Mary and gave her away to family members who were willing and happy to take her in. She would then come back to continue the abuse. Betty also allegedly tried to kill Mary on several occasions. She would drug her with pills, and once she even tried to push her out of a window. We mentioned that Betty was a prostitute, and she continued her job as Mary grew up. Not only did Mary witness her mom working, she even sold Mary to paying clients from the age of 4 years old. It wasn't until she started going to school that she started to act out. At one stage, she went to school and grabbed the throat of 3 different girls. After the police was called, and Mary was given the talk to, and she was let go. Now we're coming to the horrible and shocking reason why we chose Mary Bell. The day before her 11th birthday, she took a little Martin Brown to an abandoned house and choked him. As she was just a child and not as strong as an adult, there was no marks left on the body. Mary ran to get her friend Norma, who was a few years older and said to be a little slow, to show her what she had done, but the time they came back the police was already there and she couldn't show her friend. Now, in England, they used to have an awake at the home of the family, as in the body would be laying in a coffin in most likely the living room of the house, and family and friends would come and pay their respects. During this time, Mary had come to the door and asked Martin's mom to see him. His mother had informed Mary Martin was dead. She had then said, "I know, I want to see him in his coffin." She had turned her away and thought no more of him. After Martin Brown's death, Mary was acting more and more strange and violent. She even tried to strangle the little sister of her friend Norma, but luckily she was stopped by Norma's father. Mary and Norma broke into a nursery to create a little havoc and left a bunch of notes. The notes even mentioned that Martin had been killed, but the police thought it was just a prank. The nursery got an alarm after this, and about a week later the alarm went off. The police came and found Mary and Norma around, and after asking them, they let them go, as they denied trying to break in. Now, as if that wasn't enough, Mary would also go around school telling people she killed Martin Brown, but no one believed her as she was known for lying. A month later, they murdered 3-year-old Brian Howe. This time, it was both Mary and Norma who strangled him. After strangling him, they covered him up and left. A little later, Mary came back to the body and mutilated it. She cut her initials in on his body and left the scene. As soon as he was reported missing and the family went looking for him, Mary and Norma would come with them to help. They even tried to lead the family to the body. As soon as he was found, they could see the full horror of the scene. Instead of trying to come in and see the body this time, she stood outside the house and laughed and smiled, and the police now took Mary and Norma in for questioning. During the interviews, their stories would change constantly, and they would even blame each other. It was now then that she had made her big mistake. She tried to blame the murder on another boy and claimed that she had seen this boy with Brian. He had a pair of scissors. The scissors were used in mutilating the body, and it was not shared with the public. Only the killer would know of it. Both girls was charged with the murders. The trial started on December 5th. The trial started with both girls blaming the other, and both refusing being involved in the murder of Martin Brown. During the trial, the girls behaved as exact opposites. Norma behaved as a normal 13-year-old, crying and looking scared. Mary was calm and distant and didn't even turn to look at her mother once. Her mother, on the other hand, seemed to make a little show of it, crying and wailing in the courtroom. Norma was acquitted of all charges, and Mary was acquitted of murder, but found guilty of manslaughter. This was because of her younger age. This is the only time she was ever seen crying during the whole trial. Now, she was sent to a lot of different detention centers and different prisons, and was not a model prisoner. She was also sent to an open prison for adults and managing to escape for 3 days. It was during those 3 days that she had claimed she had lost her virginity, even though she had accused her mother of selling her from the age of 4. Her mother, during Mary's incarceration, made sure to take advantage of the situation. She would sell stories and notes supplied written by Mary to make a little extra. In 1980, when she was 23 years old, she was released and got a new identity. She then lived a normal, quiet life and had a daughter. When a book came out in the late 90s, a whole new interest was created, and her daughter had to move from town to town. There is something called the Mary Bell Order, who protects children's anonymity. This was given to her daughter and her granddaughter as well. So, that is the tale of Mary Bell. What do you think? Should she have received a longer sentence? Should she have been let out sooner, as she was just a child and her brain had not developed properly? Should the court have heard all the gruesome details from her childhood? Is the mother innocent in all of this? Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to all of this, and I'll see you in our next episode.